Welcome to the Monday edition of the podcast. Well, Monday recording of the podcast, which is usually a little bit more rowdy than the Tuesday night recordings. Because Chad's weekend is fresh in his mind. He
Uh,
knows all the tomfoolery he got up to.
what did I do this weekend? No, I don't remember what I did this weekend.
Well, thank God we're not having this on Tuesday then. Really fucked. Really, really fucked. Do you do you think that the theme of financial preparedness will ever leave like hardscape social media? Or do you think that we are looking forward to many, many more years of knowing your numbers and financial preparedness? And do you, or do you think that there will come a day when people are tired of beating that horse and find a different horse to beat? I don't know. I think it's a toss up.
I think it's going to get worse for a little bit as the economy
Worse.
goes down. They're going to be ringing that bell for another year.
I'll keep going at it. I'll keep it alive single handedly if I need to.
I don't think you're a big knowing your numbers pusher.
No, I try not to push it hard.
Do you think you're a big knowing your numbers? I don't think I could tolerate you being on this podcast, other than the fact that you basically do everything. Um, so taking that into account, that you basically do everything, uh, you know, I don't think I could tolerate an endless knowing your numbers person. I don't think I could be involved with them in any way. It would just drive me too ballistic, too
so,
fucking crazy.
so I don't fall into that category. You don't think?
I don't think you do.
No.
Chad, do you think Mike's a?
No.
I don't remember the last time you brought up knowing your numbers.
Well, arguably every time I talk about my software, that is something that's
Do you think?
primarily has to do with knowing your numbers.
Well, but it also generates quotes and does other stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing fuck all to know about your numbers, right?
Is it the same long, arduous process with your software as it is with the others to input
Yeah,
all your stuff? Like, is that there's no way around that?
there will be a way around that. You will be able to just create your own um, calculation the way you do your
Yeah,
quoting,
I think
Chad.
you should put a Chad mode
Yeah,
in
there will be a Chad mode. That's
your
going to be
program.
like early next year that we're going to do that.
So
Are you
you
going
could
to
just
name it
like
Chad
a,
mode?
a
Nobody's been
dice that
asking for that, but I know enough people. I know enough people
Nobody's
that would appreciate it. That probably haven't
nobody
signed up for it.
nobody. It's not the mode you need. It's not the mode you ask for, but it is the mode you need. Is that how you're going to sell it?
It's gonna be the tab is gonna be the Chad mode. Turn on
Chad,
Chad mode.
Chad mode is not the mode you ask for. Chad mode is the mode you need in your life. That's what you're saying.
maybe
There's
we could
the I want to know my numbers and the I don't want to know my numbers mode. I want to work back from my numbers.
yeah. We
Do,
could do it.
when people are breathing down your neck about knowing your numbers, or just breathing about it in general, do you ever want to just be like, fuck off, I'm going to bankrupt not knowing my numbers just to prove to you that I don't give a fuck?
Oh.
I'd rather be fucking bankrupt than know my numbers. Fuck you.
Like,
Let me go through my life of oblivion and struggle here on my own. Stop pushing your shit down my throat.
well, that's clearly how we operate. I'd like a I I don't know. I have no excuse for the way we do things. Oh, on a similar note, remember last week or the week before we were talking about how CRA was coming at me and I was already upset about how much money I give them and I said
Yes.
I am already giving them 80 or $90,000 of my money. And you said, well, it's not your money, you're just collecting it for them.
Yes.
Well, you're right. But then I thought about it some more, and it is my money because I haven't been paid their tax portion yet. So I'm prepaying on the tax that I haven't collected on yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
right?
I've paid all the HST on the 2 liens that I have.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And
one of those is 12 months old.
yeah, right. So you're collecting money for the government, even though you haven't made money for yourself yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
You're
it's illegal.
prepaying.
It's illegal to pay the HST when you get it.
Yeah.
Like you can't say to
You
them,
have to pay
"Hey,
it
I never
whenever
got."
you pay
Yeah,
the invoice,
exactly. You
basically,
can't.
right?
So if you never get paid for that and you never get the HST, it's not their fucking problem.
Yeah. As soon as you invoice it, they want
They
that
won't.
money,
Well,
which
within
is,
a month or 3 months or whatever your
yeah,
cycle is,
whenever your quarter is done or you're right, your cycle. But
and
which
that's
is
why that's oppression.
bananas. That's oppression. That's bananas in itself.
It's oppression.
That's yeah.
So 100%. Give us the money that you're prepaying money that you're collecting for free for us.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then we're
what's
fighting about
crazy
how
is
we're going to collect it
Trudeau
after the
didn't even
fact.
Trudeau didn't even fucking set it up. He just inherited that oppression. Now, he didn't do anything about it. He looked at it and was like, "Yeah, this is the system.
This is the system.
This is you keep collecting our money, even if you don't get paid, you still have to give us the fucking money." I fucking hate HST.
What's
Yeah.
a better system? What can we solve here for the government?
Mhm.
Oh, I don't. Is there a better way to collect this tax revenue? I don't know.
I don't know either.
What do they do in Freedom, Indiana?
I'd assume that they do something very similar.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think they have 13% HST that they have to pay to the federal government.
Some
I don't
sort
think
of sales tax, right?
Maybe there is a federal tax right across the country that goes on everything they buy. I don't know. Some states have no tax.
Yeah, some states don't. That'd be
So,
nice.
but is it no tax for the state, but there's still a federal tax? I don't fucking know. I'm not well versed enough.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I don't. How do we fix the tax situation in Canada? Well, the good thing is if you live in Eastern Canada or wherever, they're going to not charge you the carbon tax on your home heating oil. But if you live in Ontario, you're fucking paying that shit. That's fucked up. We're only taxing part of the country. Like, couldn't you say we're not taxing any home heating oil? But
That would
no,
be great.
no, they're only taxing it they're taxing it in Ontario, but not in the Maritimes. That makes no sense to me. There's some borderline between New Brunswick and Quebec, and if you live on one side, you're paying that goddamn home heating oil carbon tax because you're destroying the environment in Quebec. But if you're in New Brunswick, hey, the environment's all good there. You don't need to pay the carbon tax and save the environment. That is some stupid ass government logic. It's literally pinpointed to them losing ridings. Those ridings are ridings
right.
that they were losing. So they are literally getting rid of carbon tax and ridings, trying to flip those ridings to win. This is next level craziness with the government, but whatever. Now they're gonna fucking come down on this podcast.
Yeah.
They're listening.
They are listening all the time. Motherfuckers. We submitted a tender for a job that's $430,000. So I think we're gonna get it.
Is that this
Right
year?
on.
Part of it this year, part of it in the spring.
Nice.
Nice.
So it makes me feel a little bit scared, I guess,
Is it going to close by the time this podcast airs?
potentially.
So we won't talk about it too much then, I suppose, just in case it doesn't close.
Well, it's a weird situation that's probably not best to delve into, but I think that there's only one quote going in, so
that's a good way to win it.
A great way to win it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're anyways, I think we're going to start this job next week, see how it goes. Maybe we'll bankrupt. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll win. Maybe we'll lose.
You'll win.
Life is a gamble. What I did spend though is over the last week, spent a vast amount of time poring over the numbers.
Knowing your numbers.
Getting to know them.
I was
And
just
they got to know you.
pouring over these numbers over and over and over again, looking for little things that you could squeeze a few more dollars out of. It was a painful, horrible experience, and not a way I want to spend my life. The whole thing made me question my existence.
Where did you squeeze the dollars from?
So a lot of it for us is because we have our own trucks. I can play with that. Like there's a lot more play in the numbers because we're not dependent on, and there's, I don't know, 3,000 yards of topsoil.
Oh,
So, and then there's a pile of mulch and river rock, and it's all softscaping, the whole job.
love it.
So for us, all that stuff comes in bulk triaxle dump trucks. So
Yeah.
we could manipulate it a bit and play with it, and
Maybe it's the same job I'm bidding.
could be.
As close as November 7th, it got pushed back for the third time.
It could be.
Mhm.
Maybe
Right
we'll
in
bid
my
against
neck of
each
the
other.
woods. Yeah.
There's terrace seating.
Nope. Didn't price any terrace seating.
Oh, there you go.
Are you going to try and get it flipped to hydro seed?
I think it was hydro seed, and they're flipping it to terrace seed because it's so late in the season.
It doesn't matter what type of seeding you're doing now. Seed is not going to germinate.
I don't know. Listen, it's not my expertise. Okay,
Let's go with something 5 times as expensive because there's
I think it's twice. I think
oh,
that's an exaggeration from the hydro seed guy, but whatever.
I'd rather go with 5 times and win it
Mhm.
than 2 times and win it and wait, no, 5 times and lose it than 2 times and find out it's 5 times as high. And then
Well, I did get. I mean, I'm not a. Okay, so I'm not a moron. I did get a quote from these people.
oh,
Well,
oh
we
yeah,
requested one.
there's no one here that terrace seeds, so I just use the reps numbers.
Oh, okay, so there is multiple terrace seating people here.
You have nobody that'll cut a curb where you are, but
Nobody
tons of these terrace seeding guys.
in these $2 million terrace seating trucks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah. Well, there's at least two.
Hmm,
I know of two. I have direct contact with two.
really?
They're in my Rolodex or my cell phone. Yeah. Who's we were doing this thing the other night, well, last night at dinner, and like who's the most famous person in your phone?
Caleb Bauman,
Oh, there you go.
I think.
Caleb Allman is the most famous person in your phone. Nice. Mike?
Most famous person in my phone. Yeah. Uh, probably the kid contractor himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
I'm
he's
just
the
I'm
most
just rolling through it right now. I don't think I have Interlock Ian in my phone. Actually, I think I do. So maybe I don't know. Is Interlock Ian more famous?
I don't think
I
so.
I have
No.
Interlock Ian in my phone.
PK is gonna say like Madonna or something. I can just
Right. Some
Uh,
actress or actor from his time.
there's uh I should well, I have pretty sure he's in here. Let's see if he is.
call him.
So I have I'm gonna look him. I'm pretty sure he's pretty famous, but I don't know 100%. So I gotta look him up. I think he might be. So here we go. I have Robert Cripps construction in my phone, or Robert Cripps in my phone. I've been to his house. He's a nice guy. He's he as seen on HGTV, Island of Brian.
Hmm.
He has 92,000 followers on Instagram. He's a great guy. He's in my phone. I could call him right now.
Let's
Do
call
you
I
think
him.
he'll
think
be on the podcast?
I don't know if he's a podcast guy. He's a great guy.
But is this one of these things like Canadian famous doesn't even hold a candle to American famous.
This came
We
up.
have like Canadian pickers, and it's just a dog shit show compared to American pickers.
Oh, this came up because one of my friends was in Vegas at the Adele concert, and sitting right in front of him at the Adele concert was J Lo, and so he had pictures of J Lo, and she said goodbye to them when he walked out. When she walked out, she said goodbye to them, my friends, and so I just thought it was interesting that he had this picture he took of J Lo live on his cell phone, not like one that he cropped off the internet. It was a picture he took. So that came up to this: who's the most famous person in your phone? And it was just an interesting topic. So,
Have you guys ever had somebody famous follow you on Instagram or on a social media? Who's the most famous person that has followed you?
The checkmark blue caterpillar account sent me a
Oh, that's
cup.
cool. Right.
He sent me a mug. I thought that was pretty sick that they acknowledged my ripping apart of their shitty cup holder in their excavator. There's my brush with fame. The Caterpillar blue checkmark account. Fuck yeah. This is the stuff that you two could only dream of. Like, I know you're sitting there going, man, I'm so jealous that PK got to meet I don't know. Are we talking about internet people as only being famous? I don't.
Oh, just in general, somebody famous. I'm trying to find the guy's name. He followed me, but I only know him from a um a Marvel movie. That's the only movie I know him from. So I don't know his name or anything.
How famous is he then?
He's probably like a B-list actor.
So there's a woman, and I don't know her name, and I'm pretty sure she either came in second or won Top Chef Canada or whatever that is, Home Cook Canada, where they do the chef competition. And then her brother bought my Volvo off me, and she came to pick it up. Yeah, She was on a billboard the other day. We were driving by, and I was like, I met her. Her brother bought my Volvo.
I thought you hated Volvo.
I like Volvo cars. Love Volvo cars. Hate Volvo trucks.
So you're not a Mac guy either?
I don't mind Mack trucks.
Well, Mac is made by Volvo.
No,
Yes.
Volvos are made by Mack.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I have no idea.
No. I think Volvo owns Mac. They
I don't
also
know.
own an auto car. You ever see one of those riding around?
Not around here, but
We got an auto car dealer here.
You have an auto car dealer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always
They're
wanted
pretty,
to. I've always wanted to buy an auto car.
it's a pretty sharp looking truck.
Those things are sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could buy them in Canada.
Yeah. We got a dealer here. Like
Really?
the grill on the front looks like an old like saloon door. Just
Yeah,
bust right open anytime.
it's
Yeah.
sick.
They're
I didn't
cool.
know there was an auto car dealer in Ontario.
Well,
Mike's
come on
still
down.
searching through his phone, trying to amaze us all.
Trying to amaze us all. I won't find them. I don't know how to find them.
I don't know. Maybe they do. So maybe they do. Let's see. Mack trucks. Whoops. There we go. We're looking it up. That's what we do here.
We need one of those guys like Joe Rogan has, some guy just on the computer that looks shit up
Yeah.
I
while
think you got to
everybody
make money
talks.
to get those guys.
Yeah, you're right.
Who owns them? Just Googling Mack truck did not help me at all.
Really?
No. It's an American Mack truck stuff. Oops, that's not going to help me. Where's the Wikipedia page for this shit? It was founded 123 years ago by the Mack brothers. Brothers Mack. Mack Trucks is a subsidiary of AB Volvo.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. The parent company is Volvo.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is if I buy a Mack, I'm buying a Volvo?
correct.
I don't have either, so whatever. What if I buy a Mac that predates Volvo taking over?
Pre 2000,
Is that when Volvo bought Mac?
I
Why are
believe
you
so.
such an aficionado on this?
I was told because I was looking at a
Like,
water
are you
truck.
studying it or something?
No, I was looking at a water truck a couple weeks ago, and I showed my buddy. I'm like, "What do you think of this?" He's like, "That's right around the time that Volvo bought Mac, so you might have a hard time getting parts." Well, now I know.
Was it a Mac you were looking at or a Volvo?
Mac.
What model?
I don't know. Water truck.
Water truck.
It was a tandem.
If you ever want to know about Max, the guy who owns our yard is a Mac guy. He's like
Even
Mac boss.
and now he's a Volvo guy, inherently.
Inherently, I guess he's a Volvo guy. Yeah, I'm not a Volvo guy.
No.
I have Volvo. I like Volvo cars. Maybe Volvos are the greatest trucks ever. I don't know. I just
I've heard anyone who has a Volvo loves their Volvo.
they're supposed to be very comfortable.
Really.
Yeah, very comfortable to drive. Most comfortable. Well, they have the best. What do they call it? Ergonomics.
Hmm.
I can tell
Made
you
for like
that.
little Europeans.
I don't know. I can tell you that the ergonomics in a Peterbilt 340 fucking suck ass. They're terrible. A terrible set of ergonomics in that bitch. Like it's not a comfortable truck to drive, but I still like it. I don't know
Hmm.
why. Is comfort what you're searching for in truck driving?
Um, no, I want reliability. Our PTO shit the bed on our tandem, so it's been out for a week.
Really? How
Yeah,
much is it to repair one of those?
I don't know if they would ever work on it. I would get an answer. But, so we
We
had to
go.
use our backup tandem.
Oh, it's good you have a backup.
Yeah, it is good we have a backup.
One of our bin trucks has been getting a ton of work done to it for a while, but because we have three now, it doesn't matter. It's not even
Yeah,
stressful.
not even stressful.
I don't even mind because we
No,
have three of them.
yeah,
It's always good
like
to have a backup plan.
yeah, yeah.
Did anyone
I
ask you
spent
a question? Oh, go ahead, Chad.
I spent an hour before this podcast working on a landscape drawing for a project that we're starting tomorrow.
That's great.
So I drop off the machines, and homeowners happen to be home, and she's like, "You still owe me a drawing." Like, son of a bitch. I gotta go home and make a drawing for this. It's like a $12,000 entranceway. It's like a tiny fucking entranceway, right? Um, and she's like, "Yeah, I want to see it." I'm like, can't I just paint it on the ground?" And it went from the client was supposed to do all the demo themselves. Someone was supposed to take all their existing bricks.
Oh yeah, that's always a good one.
Yeah. And I showed up and nothing was touched, right? So now we got half a day of pulling out this shit, and there's no way to recoup that in the job, right?
Mm.
Could you not bring it up with them and say, "Hey, you never"?
Yeah, well, that's where having a contract, I think, would come in handy. I think maybe if we were to purchase someone's contract, we might have something to say about removing existing materials. Um, but we don't, so now I'm gonna eat that. And
Have you thought about bringing it up?
it's so what it takes maybe 3 or 4 hours, like is it the end of the world? Two guys, 8 man hours total.
So just
Like,
for the record, I would do exactly what you're doing. I would just demo the shit, get rid of it, and move on
yeah,
with my fucking life.
yeah,
But on the flip side, I might also say, "Hey, you had someone coming to get these bricks and lift them and get rid of them. Do you still want them?" Just to see if they volunteered the money.
yeah, that didn't happen.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I said, so you're getting rid of these then? Because like it's a totally different animal if somebody still wants them and we're required to palletize them now. You
Oh, that
know,
makes it way worse.
like
Yes.
that is something else. Now I'm going to take these back to the yard. I'm going to dump them on a slow day. Someone's going to pile them back up and they're hitting Facebook Marketplace. They're going back out the door to recoup the money that we put in to demo the project.
Yeah, but how much does it cost to stack? How many things are we talking about here?
I'd say 4 pallets a wall, 5 pallets a wall.
But are they glued and all that?
No, not
How could
considering
it
the way
not
they're
be more
falling apart
economical? How could it not be just more economical to dump them in the concrete pile somewhere?
because I'm running out of yard space to dump.
Don't you have like concrete recyclers that take them for free or $50 a load?
Mm, I don't think so. I mean, could we dump it somewhere? I'm sure I could find a different place to dump it. But whenever someone needs a shitty job, because like that's how we punish people, is giving them a shitty job at the yard to do, right? So in some ways it's a punishment. In some ways we're recouping a little bit of the money that we spent to do the tear out. And it keeps me still the good guy, right? Like, well, they didn't want to charge me for the tear out, even though I said I was going to do it, you
So
know,
so in a couple of weeks we're gonna see a story of Brandini stacking wallstone in your yard.
potentially. I sent him to the boneyard. I said, Brandon, you take pictures of all this stuff, post it on Marketplace. Let me know what you get for it. He was back there taking pictures for about half an hour. So we'll see. I was not kidding. There is about 100 pallets back there.
Wow.
Uh, and
And you're
that's
willing to
only,
add to it.
yeah, I suppose so.
How many times do you think you've moved that shit?
Not often. Just piles up every
But
once in a
so
while.
you invested the money in loading it in the see. So this is how I break it down. I invest the money
I'm
in
not
loading it.
saying my way is the right way by any means.
I'm just breaking it down how I do it. I'm not saying my way is right either. I'm looking at two ways and I'm trying to determine which way is better. Maybe I'm missing out on something and having hundreds of skids of shit in my yard. I don't know. I'm just trying to work it out. But you seem nervous that your way's not good and you keep interrupting me. Well, at least once. You interrupted me at least once while I was doing this.
Okay.
So
You have the floor.
this is this is this is my this is my mindset when I level up with the used concrete products that we encounter in our time. We load them quickly into a bin or into a dump trailer or into a dump truck. We have the labor of loading them once, and then we dump them for $50 at the supplier and we never see them again. And that's what we do.
Okay. So,
But you're going to encounter these products tomorrow, and my understanding is you're going to stack them on skids.
no,
You're just
incorrect.
going to, you're going to just dump them.
I'm going to take them, put them in the skid steer bucket, put them in the heavy single axle truck, drive them to the yard, dump them in a pile there. They're going to sit there till there's a slow day or someone has an hour or two. And on that slow day, they're going to be stacked up. They're being touched twice.
Yeah. How much do
I
you think
think
you have
so.
invested in them?
Well, you have to get rid of them regardless, right? So up until they're dumped out of the truck the first time, it's a wash, right? Between how you do it and how I do it.
I agree. That's a wash. Other than
Correct.
I've charged for it and you barely haven't.
What? Oh, like,
You just talked about how you had no money in
yeah,
doing this. So,
yeah,
but
because
under normal circumstances, you would have charged
yeah,
for this, though.
yeah, absolutely,
To be fair
yeah,
to you, okay,
yeah.
all right. So we're
So
both in it equally. Actually, I'm in it more because I paid $50 to dump it, and you dumped it at your yard in a pile for free.
yeah,
Okay,
so
you're
now it's
actually in
gone.
the good, and that's why I wanted to break this down because you're actually in the good here.
So there's no potential for you to make any money off it after you've dumped it at
Well,
the
I charged my
concrete crusher.
markup and overhead and everything,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, the
So
potential's over. Yeah,
the potential's
it's
over
gone. Yeah.
So I wait 6 months, whatever it is. It's not costing me anything because I have the land. It's sitting there. They're rotting. whatever.
The argument
Someday,
being that you could make better use of the land another way.
yeah,
I'm just
but not without
just
putting.
playing devil's advocate that you could potentially do
It,
something more profitable with the land.
there's a lot of other ways that someone could be more profitable with my property than I am being, but that's a whole different conversation.
That's a
So,
different conversation.
um, they sit there 6 months, whatever. Someone calls in sick on a Friday or whatever, right? So Monday's supposed to be blistering hot, and their first job is to go stack the 5 pallets of block that are sitting there now infested with bugs and bees, and they got to stack those pallets.
What happens? So when you dump these out of the truck, inevitably some of them aren't in sellable condition.
Yeah.
Did those ones then get loaded into a truck and taken to the concrete recycler?
No, those ones go in the backhoe bucket, which is probably right beside where the guy's working or whatever, and they get carted maybe 100 feet to the dump,
And what is the dump?
the back of my property.
So is there a big pile there?
There's a cliff, and we just continually push things off the edge.
For how long? Like how big's the hole? 1,000 loads? 500 loads?
No, we're talking like what triaxle loads? I maybe have room for 500 more.
Triaxle loads?
Yeah,
Fuck, you're doing good.
but
You
then
should be.
after that, there's no more. Like there's
Well, that's when your business that's been running under the false economy of dumping at your yard will start to fail unless you adjust your pricing.
that's yeah, completely agree. I'm looking for more property as we speak.
So
I'm always looking for a
your
deal.
solution is to just buy more property.
I'm looking for swampland. We're going to turn that swampland into buildable.
You're going to bury a bunch of old interlock and wall SRW wall material and double the price of that. Make that twice as valuable. That swamp.
Nice and hard land. So,
hard land,
hard dry land. But anyway, after these pallets of block are stacked, you make what, $100 on them each?
I don't know,
maybe, or something like that.
What's a used pallet of block sell for, Mike?
Me? What's that?
What does a used pallet of block sell for, Mike?
I have no idea. I haven't sold a used.
Said used to sell them. I thought you were the man. You said you used to palletize them and sell them.
Oh, pavers. Yes, pavers. Yes, I used to sell a 700 square foot driveway for about $350.
What do you sell them for? $100 a pallet, Chet?
Yeah. See.
How much do you think it costs you to stack the pallet?
Well, you could do 4 pallets in an hour easily, right?
Yeah. So you got $40 invested in the skid.
No, because I charge a skid fee. Anytime someone, I swear to God, anytime someone takes something from the yard, this spring,
you legit charge a skid fee.
I said the pallets are $20 a piece.
So you lost $20 on the pallets.
No, because my pallet fees are $20 here.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
$40.
Wow, that's insane. But, so yeah, anytime someone buys something from the yard, I say $20 a pallet, or you load it yourself.
So, maybe I've been doing this wrong.
I mean,
the way you break it down, the way you break it down, it seems like it adds to the pot.
I sometimes feel like you tell us that your guys are slow, like with work wise, right? And they could use something to do every once in a while.
This year has been challenging.
Yeah. So
previous to this year was good, but this year has definitely been a challenging season.
If I have little busy things like that in the bank, it saves me from telling them to kick rocks at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, so there's stuff that they can do around the yard. Fix this, build this, whatever. Shit like that. I think it helps to keep the business going and to keep everyone's morale up, because nobody wants to, well, I'd like to think nobody wants to be sent home at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
That's why we painted all the bins.
Yeah. See, it's important to have that little bit of work for them outside of interlock if things get a touch slow.
And if you ever hosted a Hardscape Academy, you'd have plenty of product to play around with.
Yeah, you're right.
The Oppression Summit? What were we going to call it?
The Oppression Summit.
The Oppression Summit?
Chad's hosting the Oppression Summit.
I heard.
In my shop that you said what you said you badmouthed my shop for some reason.
I never badmouthed your shop.
I thought it wasn't good enough for something like that.
I said it wasn't finished yet.
Oh,
I don't think that was untrue.
It's definitely passable.
Well, there's two buildings. Which one are we referring to?
Oh,
The one with no siding or the shop?
the shop. The shop can host. That's for sure.
The shop's ready. Is it heated?
Yep.
Really? What's it
Oh
heated?
yeah. Propane.
How much does that cost?
I think like $2,000 a winter.
That's pretty
Not all
good.
that much. Yeah, we keep it at like 55 or whatever.
That's
Low enough so
awesome,
that
though. It gives you somewhere to work indoors.
yeah, yeah. It's great for painting stuff and greasing stuff and
Yeah.
all the fun things.
Chad, you got
Uh,
snow today.
I got snow today. Did you guys get snow?
No.
It was awful. I almost called it off for the day. I was sitting in my truck at 6:30 and it was pitch black out and everything looks way worse whenever it's pitch black out. And I'm thinking maybe we don't have to work today. I'm gonna ask the guys when they come in. So they show up and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask them. We're gonna work anyway. Um, and we loaded up and we did a little flower bed repair. Because the GC filled some client's flower bed with stone, and we went, popped out all the grasses, dug it out with the 8-ton, put them all back in, mulched it. We were home by 1 o'clock, and we were $3,500 richer.
And you were telling them to go out back and palletize
No, I
stuff.
said it's cold, and there's no extra brick to stack, so let's call it a day.
I thought that was the whole point of this brick stacking extravaganza was to not send people home at 1 o'clock.
On a day when it only reaches +3 degrees, there
Why is it so much colder where you are? Are you that much
it,
more north?
it was today, but I don't think it always was. Didn't you guys get frost last week?
Oh, maybe.
I think
We
so.
didn't get frost last
I
week.
pay attention to a lot of that stuff. I thought it wasn't supposed to rain today, but then it poured rain all fucking day.
Oh, it's gonna be -4 tonight.
Was this a project you were going to do today anyways, Chad? Or is this a project that it was snowing, you didn't want to work the whole day, you decided to do it today?
No, I had to get it done anyway.
Okay.
Like it was just one of those things. Today felt right to do it because we have a lot of topsoil work, and that's not great to do in the snow or the rain. So I figured let's
Yeah, that
just
shit sucks in the snow or the
yeah.
rain.
Like I'm holding out that the rest of the week is going to be dry because we got a lot of topsoil work to do. They got a list for me, sending me this giant list of all the places in the city that need topsoil and sod, and sometimes it's only like a wheelbarrow here
Oh,
and like a backhoe bucket there. I'm like, how do
Oh,
you
boy.
mobilize for this? I'm like, just waiting for it.
yikes.
So
When to mobilize it, I'm guessing you would try to do as many in one day as possible, maybe something like that.
absolutely, yeah. Like we're gonna go around and do topsoil all across the city, and then we're gonna turn around and do sod all across the city at a different date. It's and we got a lot of sod to do still too, which is terrifying me because I have a whole street that I can't get back on because they want it rolled and I can't roll it because it's just too wet or sinking.
Oh, yikes.
So yeah,
So
but
what, the topsoil sinking?
yeah, like you put a man on it with a roller and
Where was the
you sink.
Bomag?
Wow, we can't get a bull mag on it. That's for sure.
So what happened was you guys put in the soil without compacting, and then it rained before you got it to compact it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Did the guy come out and say he was sinking to his knees again?
no, he never came back out. I haven't been to that site, but I'll tear a strip off that guy. The great thing is tomorrow's Halloween, so I'm hoping all the kids walking across it is gonna pack it for me.
They'll be
Like
sinking to their head.
that's gonna be a giant fucking shit show after that. Trying to rake it all out after the kids have been in it. Ah, great.
Oh yeah, that'll be. Kids are dragging the mud everywhere.
Yeah, it's all over the sidewalks again. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
I asked at H&A the kid contractor himself this question in front of a bunch of people, and I don't think I asked you guys this when I talked to you guys about it. But what is the worst piece of advice you guys have ever got?
Know your numbers. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Or a good piece of advice, but at the wrong time.
Hmm.
One time, I was sitting around waiting for it to snow with a bunch of other guys in a bar.
In Manitoba.
No, this is back when in my snow plowing days when I used to plow. And they were all so everyone was having a drink because that's what you do before you go out and plow snow for. In my like 30 years ago, before you went out to plow snow, everyone would go to the bar and have a drink. No, it wasn't even that long ago. I don't remember. Anyways, um, we're all sitting around waiting for it to start snowing, and there was a business conversation, and in the middle of the business conversation, and this is when I had my first business. I'd been in business for a couple years, maybe not a long time. Someone at the table said, overhead, who gives a fuck about that? What difference does that make? Just buy whatever the hell you want. And even back then, and there was no talk back then of knowing your numbers and this kind of shit. Even back then, I thought that doesn't seem like a great idea. But I witnessed another business owner saying that. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about your overhead?
Are they still in business?
Yeah, yeah, they are. They are direct competition to me on a couple things.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, who gives a
So
fuck?
do you think he gives you the edge,
To
caring about your overhead?
I so I think that's a double-edged sword. I think that if you care deeply about your overhead and watch it, sometimes you might look at an opportunity and be like, oh, that's going to add to my overhead. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. And you take too deep a dive into the opportunity. Whereas if you don't give a fuck and someone offers you the opportunity, you just go, fuck it, let's buy it and go. And that could be the best thing that ever happened to you. It could also be the worst. But I just think sometimes maybe people have missed out on opportunities because they were too worried about increasing their overhead.
Hmm.
Maybe. But that was not solid advice, I feel. I was bore witness to it. It was said directly to me. I did nothing with it, though. I did not act upon it. Even back then, at that time, as uneducated and young as I was, I knew that having some idea what your overhead was and a plan was a good thing. So, what about you,
Chad?
Chad?
So this is a weird one. I used to get all the time, why are you spending so much money? Why are you buying so much equipment? Right? And it sort of makes sense, right? Like, don't go out and blow all your money and brand new skid steer and brand new all this and brand new trucks and everything, right? Um, because it was coming from a guy who didn't have, it was an old boss of mine. Um, he would always not have nice trucks and nice backhoes and all this stuff and skid. We we worked. We never even had a skid steer at that company. Everything was backhoes, right? Um, our dump trucks were ancient. Um, their water truck actually I still have, but he's like, why are you spending so much money? How can you afford this, right? And I guess that's good advice, or don't spend all your money is good advice. If you don't understand the context he doesn't know what my financial situation is like, right? Like, so it's fine to say don't buy all this shit, but you don't see that there are hundreds of thousands of dollars still in the bank account, even though we have this shit. And we need to buy this shit to do the jobs faster so we can make even more money, right? So, I mean, I guess it's good advice not to buy a lot of equipment unless you're confident enough to um, understand the risk that you're taking.
I don't think you should buy a lot of equipment unless you have some kind of plan for it. I feel like if you have a plan for a piece of equipment that will lead you to pay for it, then purchasing it is, if I have a plan for a 30-ton excavator and I buy it, but I have a plan saying this is how I'm going to achieve paying for it, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
But a
But
smart person once said, people don't call you for things you don't have.
but that's true. That's what I'm saying. You have a plan for it, right? You say, okay, I have my base core plan of how I'm going to pay for it. And then people are going to call me because I have it.
So when you make a decision like that, like buying your first triaxle, do you, before you pull the trigger on it, do you already have that plan in place? So you've already contacted these people and said, hey, I'm going to buy this. Are you going to do, how much business are you going to do with me if I do have this? Is that like your planning stage?
Before we bought the first triaxle, I called around and said, hey, if I buy this truck, would you hire it? Is there a market for it? How often do you hire trucks? Would you let me supply gravel for you? If I go buy my own gravel, if I buy, can I be a gravel supplier? Still have clients from the first year that we stocked their yard. They call us whenever they need a couple loads of gravel. We stock the yard. But yeah, I called around before we bought it. People don't call you for stuff you don't have, is true. But that doesn't mean you buy everything and hope that someone, like, I'm not buying a road grader and hoping that someone calls me for it if I have a road grader. That's not the market I'm in. I don't, I'm not going to buy a tower crane and hope that someone's building a 10-story condo and gives me a ring. I think you have to have some kind of plan or be at least someone involved in, I've had people call me about opportunities that aren't landscaping related, like trucking related opportunities that don't have anything to do with the landscape construction industry, because they thought that I had a transferable skill in trucking. But yeah, I don't think you have to have an idea of how to, at the end of the day, whenever we buy something, I try to figure out who's going to pay for it because I don't want to. So I try to figure out who's going to pay for it because I don't want to fucking pay for it out of my own pocket, because that means it's not a productive piece of equipment.
Right.
There's things I've bought and that I look around in the yard and I'm like, I don't know why we fucking have that. Today I actually used the flat deck on our.
I saw that.
I actually used the flat deck on our bin truck. That's like the fourth time. Like this thing, when I bought that, I had this vision that we were just gonna use the fuck out of it. It's just gonna be such a valuable thing. I used it like 3 times. It's just not that 4 times maybe. It still makes me happy when it's on the truck though. I just like having it. Like, that's good. we got a flat deck. Fuck you. Yeah, we could flat deck this bitch. I don't I don't know. Anyways, maybe I'm crazy.
Is the sweeper fixed?
No.
No.
Not fixed. Someone messaged me today saying, can you send your Bobcat and sweeper here? I'm like, I have a busted ass fucking sweeper that's way too big for the skid steer we have. Not recommended for the size of skid steer we have. That's an item that's rotting in the yard right there. I also have a snowplow for the Bobcat. I have a box pusher for the box pusher I use to clean the snow at the yard, so I don't mind it. But
I bought a bin today.
Ooh.
you bought a bin,
Yeah, I don't have a bin truck, but I bought a bin.
but your buddy has a bin truck, right?
My buddy has a bin truck, and he doesn't have enough bins to constantly keep one at our yard. So I said, "Hey, I'll buy one of your old bins. You get a new one, and I'll just keep the bin at my yard. Then I'll pay you to dump it." So now we always have a bin,
Is it a hook bin or a cable rail bin?
hook bin.
Hook bin.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
How big is it?
I don't know. What's a standard bin? Probably
It depends if it's a 20
four
or
and a half
is it
feet
a full
high.
bin or a garbage bin?
Garbage bin.
Oh, it's probably taller than 4.5.
Maybe five. 5 by 20, 5 by 18.
That's a fair size bin.
Yeah,
A good old fashioned 18-yarder, maybe.
yeah. I'd say that's about right. We put
18.
all those cedar pencils in it from that Armorstone job we just did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guys were like, "We can just bury them; they'll rot at the yard." I said, yeah, or they might not. Well, eventually they will, right? But they're all painted and they're 30 years old as it is, so
Mm.
it's like you guys don't understand how little room we have here.
Or they don't care.
They don't care. That's it.
Another
treat
version of this is they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Not
they
their
don't.
problem.
Not their problem.
Not their problem.
Justifiably so, not their
But
problem.
it is my problem.
It is your problem. Did you guys like the dressing stone thing that I put up?
That was good. I
Yeah,
like that.
that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I also like that you posted a reel about your advice in the story and then said, "This is great advice." You complimented yourself on your own
What are you
advice.
talking about?
On the Not Our Finest Hour account, in the stories, you reposted one of your reels and put, "This is great advice."
Yeah, well, obviously it was great advice. It probably was not great advice.
I care. I think it's about something being able to ruin your own day, something like that.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Don't let someone else fuck up your day. Fuck it up yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I did repost that because it's great. It's great advice. Don't let someone else fuck up your day. Fuck it up yourself.
We have some questions if you guys want to get into these here.
Let's get
Yeah.
into these questions.
Oh, so the guy that follows me is Frank Grillo.
Really?
Never heard of them.
Yeah,
B-list motherfucker.
B-list.
The most famous person that follows me is Chase Gallagher.
Ooh, that's a big name you're dropping.
He owns the university.
All right. Newly Ottawa.
All right, then. He does. Says right in his bio.
Can't argue against it.
Mentor, investor, entrepreneur, landscape business owner, showing you how to start, scale, and book call with me, coaching, CMG University. See? That's it. That's a ticket right there.
Not that they're related, but we did have somebody ask us if we're going to LAL this year.
And that person pointed out that I could drive there.
Yeah. It's even closer than Kentucky.
It is even closer than Kentucky.
November 11th, eh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
11.
soon. Oh, man, it's the end of October.
Date of that.
Saturday.
A Saturday.
Michigan.
Well, if we had a sponsor,
Yeah.
would be a little
Everything
easier for
comes
us to
back
get
to
down
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a software sponsor. I don't know.
What do you got? What is your guys' least favorite month?
Least favorite?
Yeah. Month.
Might be October.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because October I really start
You
to.
hate candy?
No, it's that like end of
You
September I
hate
really
candy.
start to get burnt out. October I feel the burnout, but it's also the weather's changing and it's getting really crappy. And whenever the weather changes, I start to get like congested and stuff. So probably October.
Chad?
I'd go November because I'm still in pedal to the metal mode, but the weather is not cooperating
Mm.
and it's frustrating. And I feel like we should be able to do this, but we can't get the traction to do it. And that really, like, I don't account for that. And it happens every single year, right? But I
If
think
you
it's gonna,
accounted for it, you wouldn't get any jobs.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
suppose.
If someone actually accounted for every single thing, they would never get a fucking job. The only reason anyone ever gets a job is because they missed something. And
Yeah.
then it's really a debate on how much did you miss.
Well, I missed about 3 weeks of rain that haven't stopped, like, and this is every year that I keep getting it wrong. Well, it's not necessarily that I'm getting it wrong. I have no choice. I have to do the work. It's commercial work. It has to, these boulevards have to be reinstated, like they just can't not
Would you
happen.
hope that the boulevards are happening at a different time of year?
Yes, absolutely. But that's
Like
never the way it goes. It's always a rush at the end to do it.
it's like if you do a lot of work at schools and it's the last two
Yeah.
weeks of August.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah,
That's just the
always
window
a
that we're given, that's,
intense rush.
yeah. So I'd
What
say
was the
November.
topic that brought this up? Oh, the worst month of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That or
don't
any of the snow months. I don't like those either, but
I I would say that for me, I really dislike April
really,
April, the start of
why?
the season.
because it's like half loads and it's so fucked up.
Uh,
You can't drive. You spend like 6 weeks worried about where you can drive, where you can't drive, where's the
Yeah.
half load sign. It's just it's just a debate that rages in my life every single day. And then people, if April is really nice, mid-April, people are really fired up and they want you to bring them bins, and every road is a half load road, and you're trying to explain to every single person who calls you the fucking rules. And a half load isn't really a half load; it's actually a load restriction, and you're restricted to 5 tons per axle, and that means you're only if you have 4 axles, you're restricted to half of 20 ton, but the fucking truck weighs 13.5. So you're really only getting 7 ton, which isn't a half load. A half load is 11 ton. It's just this fucking horrible time. I hate it. And it's usually too wet and you can't work, or it rains a lot, or I don't know. Just fuck
See, I
April.
I
I'm the
use
horse that
half
rode
loads
in
as a
on.
great excuse. Like half loads is a great excuse as to why I can't start your project yet. I'm too busy knocking out little things, putting some money in the bank. Once half loads are off, I can get to your big project. But right now we can't because it's just not economical to get the materials to you. So
But yeah. So I can see why you would like it
yeah,
and enjoy it. But all I do is move materials around.
yeah.
It fucking sucks for that. Fuck April. Sorry, what was the question, Mike? Weren't we doing questions?
yeah, we're doing questions now. You ready?
We got like a tangent of other things.
Swaving Landscapes asked us.
What was the question of the first question?
I'll come back to that. This was a quick one because actually Swaving Landscapes left it on a different question thing. So I'll knock this out quick before I forget. When's the swag coming?
That's a Mike question.
Yeah, that is a Mike question. When's your season finish, Mike?
I'm still maybe like end of the month, next
So about
month.
a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, I could like we're almost there. I just need some approvals on your guys' end
Oh,
so that
Really?
I don't yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where we're at.
Are you
before
worried that you could misrepresent me with swag?
I would be very concerned that
You think that
the
there's going to
Paver
be
King himself would bring the axe down on me if I was bury me in the dirt pile at the dump that got closed down.
burying it in the dirt pile at the dump that got. Yeah. So, all right. So we don't know when the swag's coming. Mike does, but he thinks when his season is finished in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it'll be ready for Congress.
Nice.
Let's say that.
Are we ready for the big booth meetup
Yes.
with Mo from Mammoth?
And we'll have some giveaways of merch and all that.
And we'll have the Paver King glasses. So oddly, after that episode, there was a couple people who liked about 100 posts of mine at once.
That's
I
awesome.
wonder if someone is listening to that whole, and they're getting an advanced. They're getting an advance on everybody else to start liking the post now before the official contest announcement.
I thought you were going to say, when you said oddly after that episode aired, I thought you were going to say Mo backed out on hosting us.
No, I did message Mo and say, hey, we talked about it on the podcast. And he seemed more than excited that Mammoth would be hosting the first event. I thought maybe we should sign autographs.
I don't know about that.
I'm willing to sign people's body parts. You know how you see like people are lifting up their shirt? I want people to show up and lift up their shirt and I'll sign their body parts.
Will you do a sketch for them? Like a Not Our Finest Hour logo sketch?
No, I'm
No?
terrible at drawing. It's one of the things I am absolutely the worst at in my life is drawing.
Really?
Awful at it. I can initial things or fake sign things like a bomb, though. Are you going to do autographs on body parts at the Mammoth booth, Chad, for Congress?
You bring me a body part, I'll autograph it.
Nice.
That's,
I thought we could get like headshots and sign them and sell them. I think they'd be big sellers. Who doesn't want to? We could sell them for charity.
Chad, if we signed your body somewhere, would you go get it inked up
I'm
and permanent?
Why would
Immediately
I do that?
just no. Didn't we get finished with say what I was saying?
No,
You said no.
For the longest time, I have wanted. I don't know why this conversation about tattooing our signatures on Chad made me think of this topic, but I for the longest time I've wanted steel plates, die cut our logo out of them, or laser cut it, or however they do it. And I just didn't know who to find. And then someone posted a guy on Instagram, and he's going to cut these plates with just the crown on them, and we're going to weld them on the floats on the ramps, so that you have these like
that's cool. Yeah,
permanent logos on the floats.
When the ramps go up, you mean? You see from the
when
back?
the ramps come up, those crowns will be on the logo. Yeah, and then I
That's
want to
cool.
see if we can run like lighting in behind them
LEDs,
so they glow. Yeah, and I'm gonna get them made for all the bin trucks. Have a big tall rack for the tarp. I'm gonna try and get them made for up there.
Oh yeah.
Or I might get them made. All of them have like a plate on the back. I might get them made for that.
Yeah. When there's no bin.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them a bunch of them made. I don't know how much they are. They're probably super expensive. Doesn't look like a cheap process from the Instagram account. Looks like it's probably expensive, but I don't know. Anyways, I was really excited about it because I've wanted these. I actually thought about trading in both trailers to buy one fucking super sick, like 40-ton trailer with a drop axle. And then that trailer would have like when the ramps came up, it would have the logos welded. I don't want stickers. I want like actual die cut welded on logos.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So if someone rips off that trailer, or we sell it, they'll fucking know it was. Well, I always know it was mine from the weld marks where we welded the fucking logos on. I don't know how expensive it is. I was gonna get them to die cut one for every bin, and then we'll fucking weld it on the bin.
I don't think they're that expensive.
I don't know. We'll find out. I might be this guy's biggest customer. I love the fucking idea of all of it. The whole metal cutting, die cutting. I don't know. I find it really interesting. Sick. Anyways, go ahead, Mike. Questions?